Let's be real. How many times have we bought something because it was trending on social media? Whether it's the latest iPhone, a must have piece of clothing, or even a brand new Tesla, we've all felt the pressure to keep up with the latest and greatest. Over the past year, US adults have spent around $71 billion on impulse purchases, driven by social media influence. But the big question is, do we really need all this stuff or are we just caught up in the hype? Today, we are diving into a list of things you might want to reconsider buying. In a world where overspending is almost encouraged, every swipe and scroll seems to tempt us to buy more and spend more. However, overspending can seriously impact our mental health. Research dating back to 1800s shows a link between overconsumption and poor mental well-being, with modern studies connecting materialism to increased anxiety and depression. Overconsumption can lead to a cycle of anxiety and even addiction as we constantly seek the next purchase. But the truth is, we don't need to buy into every trend that pops up in our feed. So let's dive into the things your financial freedom friends choose to pass on. And maybe by the end of this video, you'll feel a little lighter, a little freer, and a lot more mindful about how you spend your hard-earned money. First on the list, buying a brand new car. Now, for many of us, especially in places where public transportation isn't the best, a car feels like a necessity. But let's talk about the reality of buying a new car. The costs are staggering. You've got the hefty initial purchase price, and the moment you drive it off the lot, it starts depreciating in value. Then there's the insurance, maintenance, fuel, parking. The list goes on. And let's not forget the environmental impact of manufacturing and running a new car. While having a car can be a necessity depending on where you live, it doesn't have to be the newest model. A reliable used vehicle can get you from point A to point B without breaking the bank. Now let's talk about cities where owning any car, whether new or used, might actually be a waste of money. Think about places like New York, London, Berlin, or Tokyo, major cities with robust public transportation systems. In these places, you can get just about anywhere with a bus, train, or even by walking or biking. Owning a car in these environments often means dealing with the hassle of traffic, expensive parking, and high maintenance costs, expenses that are completely avoidable. For those living in cities like these, relying on public transportation isn't just more affordable, it is also more convenient and often faster. So, if you live in a place with great public transportation, consider skipping the car altogether. You might be surprised at how much you save in both money and stress. Now let's talk about Christmas spending. Because let's face it, the holidays have become a time of gift giving gone wild. Don't get us wrong, we love the holiday season, but there's a growing trend where people feel pressured to buy the most extravagant, over-the-top gifts to show their love. And it's not just a feeling, there are numbers to back it up. A recent survey found that 86% of millennials spend more during the holidays than they plan to, with 21% going over the budget by $500 or more. The biggest culprits? Electronics, followed by toys, clothes, and jewelry. But here's the thing, the holidays shouldn't be about who can spend the most. They should be about spending time with loved ones and giving meaningful, thoughtful gifts. For us, a simple handmade gift or just quality time together is far more valuable than any expensive present. Let's talk about subscriptions. This one might be a bit controversial, but hear us out. We're talking about specifically streaming services and newspaper or magazine subscriptions. With so many options, Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Amazon Prime, and the list goes on, it's easy to sign up for a free trial, only to find yourself paying for 3 or 4 different services every month without realizing it. The same goes for newspaper and magazine subscriptions. There's so much content available for free online that paying for a subscription can feel unnecessary. While we are all for spending on experiences, these recurring costs can add up. It's worth taking a moment to reconsider whether you really need all these subscriptions, or if you could get by just as well without them. Let's talk about clothing for hypothetical situations, something we've been all guilty of, often as a result of impulse purchases. You know what we mean. Those outfits you buy just in case you get invited to a fancy event, or that swimsuit you pick up for a beach vacation you haven't even planned yet. Here's a surprising stat. Americans impulsively spend an average of $150 every month. That adds up to an extra $1,800 a year and about $108,000 over a lifetime. Ouch. In the past, we've bought clothes for occasions that never ended up happening, and it's a waste of money. Plus, it clutters our closets with items we'll rarely, if ever, wear. These days, we're more intentional. We only buy clothes when there's a specific need, not for some hypothetical future situation that might never come to pass. It's all about making smarter, more mindful choices. Let's talk about fast fashion. Yes, those cheap, trendy clothes that flood the market. There's a certain excitement around the latest fashion trends, but we find that spending a lot on these fleeting trends often isn't worth it. The global apparel market was valued at $1.5 trillion in 2020 and is projected to reach $2.25 trillion by 2025. In the UK today, for example, the average person buys 60% more clothing today than they did in 2000s, and they purchase more clothes per person than any other country in Europe. Fashion trends come and go rapidly, and investing in fast fashion, which means buying inexpensive, trendy items, can lead to a closet full of pieces that quickly go out of style. Instead, we prefer to focus on timeless, quality pieces that offer lasting value and sustainability. It's not just about following trends, but about making thoughtful choices that align with our values and needs. Finally, let's talk about adding products to your cart just to save on shipping costs. We've all been there. You're about to check out and you're just a few dollars short of the minimum purchase required for free shipping. So you start hunting for that extra item to meet the $50 threshold. It might seem like a good deal in the moment, but here's the reality. We often end up spending more time searching for that additional product, and sometimes we justify keeping it even if we didn't initially needed it. Time is money, and the effort spent finding that extra product and dealing with the potential hassle of returns can add up. We found that it's often better to either pay the shipping fee or wait until we truly need something else before placing an order. It's about being mindful of how we spend rather than getting caught up in the illusion of saving a few bucks on shipping. So those are a few things we would never buy. Before we wrap up, we want to emphasize that spending is deeply personal. What doesn't spark joy for us might bring immense happiness to someone else, and that's completely okay. For instance, some people might see spending money on books as unnecessary, especially with free library options and digital resources available. But for us, books hold a special place. We love them, and they bring us profound joy. So we don't mind investing in them, and we typically always opt for used books that come at a bargain price. The key is finding a balance between spending on what truly adds value to our lives and being mindful of where we draw the line. It is easy to get swept up in consumerism, but ultimately, it's about making thoughtful choices that align with our values and financial goals. Thanks for watching. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Are there things you would never buy, or perhaps something on our list that you actually love? Let's chat about it. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you enjoyed this video. Until next time, and don't forget, you got this.